can you describe how do you integrate real game in your teaching? So how was it integrated?
The capstone is basically consisting of like short periods of lectures, more like a reminder, refreshment of the principles and like the skills that will be used, and then each time they had an opportunity to test if they can apply those things in the simulation. And it's also well, for each like simulation session, we were giving like assignments that were basically addressing the skills that we'll be using in those like problem session. So they had an opportunity to do the theoretical part, and then before learning, for example, decide what strategy they will be following if something happens to a specific supplier, and then they would actually experience some supplier going off in the next simulation.
Wonderful. Can you give me an example or like describe a specific concept or phenomena that you were able to illustrate and simulate with real game in the course?
For example, balancing production planning in general is one of the things that I think that has been like the first, one of the basic elements that earlier versions of real game had. So it was more like a production planning simulation, and then like it's developed, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, so they had a supply chain and production balancing. So they had this opportunity to plan the production and also then back calculate like the supply chain requirements. For example, they created bumps in the supply or in the market, which is maybe like 10 years ago it wasn't the case, but now it happens because of the wars, with the sanctions, with the pandemic, with the climate change affecting like certain production. This is now basically normal to see like huge fluctuations in the reliability of supplies, and also in transportation to different locations, reaction of markets. And so we created that somewhat like manually, and I think these things can also get integrated in it even more. So it automatically happens. So they see these things. One thing that was nice and was already in the game was like students could, you see, for example, I give another example. When you have like an exercise management application on your phone, you basically have one score to look at. That's like it's calories burnt, for example, or steps taken. And in many cases, it's like that. So you have one score to look at and improve. So they usually don't get the opportunity to see like a dashboard. And having to optimize like a bunch of scores to do that. And too much focus on one may lead to like worsening of the other. So that was one nice thing. They had to pay attention to like a range of things. The other thing was that they had division of labor. So it was not one person doing it or playing the simulation. And then you have to cooperate with each other, because then you have like a bunch of scores to improve. And each one is in the like domain, the scope of work of one of the 3-4 persons in the group. And then, so they have to focus on a range of things, and each part is with one person, and then their tasks are interdependent on each other. And this is quite real, actually. So so at least you have like 3-4 people in the top management, and they have different interests, different departments, but and they have to collectively improve like the KPIs for the entire firm.